lots of things can go wrong, you know, doing that work. But I was a standout because I was Caucasian.
Yeah.
So you only have to mess up. You know, you only have to let a couple of people get away a few times. Now everyone knows who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So there was people that wanted me removed
Yep.
from this life because, and not only bad guys, but police, because there's a lot of corruption and police get their kickbacks.
Yep.
And I was told by a friend of mine who's now works for the vice governor of Bali, caught up with him a couple of years ago, and he says, John, you know, like there was people in the military who were kind of like me because of some work that I'd done. I'd helped, me and a couple other people helped train a lot of those guys with some basic self-defense and stuff.
Yep.
So we made some friends in there, and they come and said, John, you have to leave right now. I said, no, it's okay. The police are good. He goes, they're the ones that want you dead, mate. So
was that a bit of a moment though? We're like,
Yeah.
hang on, the world's not the way I thought it was.
Yeah. I think I've always been a little naive.
Yep.
I've been smart in a lot of ways and kind of creative and this and that, but I'm also very naive.
Yep.
I believe people more than I disbelieve them.
Yep.
And that's got me messed up a few times. So I think that's a character flaw, being so naive. But I was naive, yeah. I thought, what the hell, you know, and so good guys are good guys, bad guys are bad guys. It's very clear. It's not clear. And so that's why I had to leave. And I had several of my friends got there. I remember coming home one night, three of us driving home, and they said, let's come back to my place, we'll have something to eat. And I go, nah, I'm tired. And they go, really, come on? I said, no, I'm really tired. It was after training. So I turned right, they turned left, and boom, got their heads cut off as they come into their house. And there was 20 people waiting in their yard. They knew about us.
Yep.
We were all working on that thing, and so luck.
Yeah. Well,
Turn that way, didn't turn that way.
That's a full butterfly effect.
Yeah, it is.
That's a full,
It's
right?
And I mean,
That's a good point.
some of the history I've read on Indonesia, particularly during the 70s, that was a wild, wild place.
Yeah, well, that stuff was minor, I guess. You know, what those little weird things that I was in, they're trying to clean up the scene in Bali a bit for the tourists. They didn't want all of that bad stuff happening. And you don't want it anyway. Who wants, you know, girls grabbed from Java? You don't want that. So the drug stuff, you know, selling dope and stuff, whatever, you know, I don't care about that.
Yep.
That's whatever. That's just, we'll look back in 50 years and go, why did we even make that illegal? Whatever. I'm sure it'll be like that. Like alcohol's worse, but not running girls, you know. So
No.
I took a lot of pleasure in making that go away.
Yep.
And you know, and robbing those guys and taking their cash and their money and their watches and giving it to the girls. And,
Yep.
you know, I don't know what happened afterwards, but at least I felt that we were doing something. But I think the more dangerous thing, Lincoln, that was the political climates. So there's like different martial arts schools were always, not always, but the big ones were sponsored by the government, the government that was in power. When I say sponsored, to give you a bit of a backstory, this main style that I trained with there was called Bhakti Nagara, which means devotion to country. They were instrumental. They were originally a street gang. They were instrumental in virtually single-handedly organising the Balinese rebellion in the communist insurgent in the 60s, I think. So they got machetes out, they went after it, and they wiped it out in Bali. They pushed back the communists. They killed a lot of people.
Yep.
So in response to that, the government says, you're good guys, here's a whole bunch of land. And they gave them 50 parcels of land or something, little blocks of land, you know, they hang a bag up and then they teach all the kids the martial arts. So there was a kind of like, usually the styles that were connected with the government in that way. Now, when there's election time, there's maybe a chance for another government to come in. So the other style, that's not where they want. So you had truckloads of guys colliding in the streets, going after each other that were all martial artists.